Hello everyone, let me talk about Java program control statements. So control statements, they are inside a method, and what happens is execution proceeds from one statement to the next, top to bottom. And using control statements, you can alter the flow through the use of various programs control statements that we're going to see. So the most widely used one is an if statement. It basically selectively execute part of a program, and using if, you can determine the flow of program execution based on whether some condition is true or false. So if this condition is true, then we will execute line inside this if statement. If not, then we'll move to else if, and if else if condition turns out to be false, then we'll move on to else. And there is another one called switch. You can think of switch as a multi-way branch. So you will be given expression, and this value of an expression is successfully tested against a list of constants. So we have these cases, and then when this match is found, then the statement sequence associated with that specific one will be executed. So the expression controlling the switch has to resolve to type byte, short, int, char, enum. And then another thing that you want to know is that you can add a default statement. So if none of the match happens, then the default statement will run. So here's an example. We have an I, and we have a for loop that changes I from 0 through 9. And then if I matches 0, then it's just going to print out that I is 0. If I matches 1, it's going to print out I is 1. Otherwise, if none of these cases match, the default case will run. For loop. For loop basically repeatedly execute a sequence of code, and this is used when you need to perform a repetitive task. And the way you set this up is you will have three things: the initial variable, and then when the count end will happen, and what will happen for every iteration. Another program control statement would be while loop, and while loop is very similar to for loop. It's a condition that controls the loop. I guess the difference is that this while loop repeats while the condition is true. So while num is less than or equal to 10, this loop will repeat. So you can just use this and meet the condition can change to true, or you can use break, which forces an immediate exit from a loop. So when a break statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is terminated. You can also use continue, which forces an early iteration of a loop, which means the loop is not going to execute every line. It's just going to bypass the loop's normal control structure and move on to next iteration. So for example, in this while loop, if this condition num modulus 3 is 0, then we are going to execute continue, which means that we're going to skip these 2 lines. That's everything I have for Java program control statement. Thank you for listening.